Life is meant to be lived joyously. Wait a minute, is that true? That's the question we're asking today on The Art of Lifing with Keka. So I have a really dear friend from high school whose pictures when I see on Facebook always make me happy. Her smile just lights up the world and she just looks incredibly happy and joyous. So the other day I posted on her page and I said, thank you so much, because when I see your pictures, they just make my day and they just make me happy naturally. So she responded and said, thank you so much. And then she said, life has been hard for me. Life has not been good to me. And so I try to make the best of it. I'm paraphrasing, but that was the extent, the essence of what she was saying. And when I read that, my heart sunk a little. And I actually felt sad because I thought, if we all go through life thinking that life is happening to us, then really we're in our own prison in a way, right? We're in the passenger seat of our car watching life happen, and we can't steer our life to the way that we want to live it. And that to me is the essence of the art of lifing. I've always felt that we have the power to do life on purpose. So this brings me to an event that I went to recently called the Archangel Summit. It's hosted by Giovanni, and entrepreneurs from across North America come into Toronto, and they have some amazing speakers. And this year they had a gentleman who was a former monk, and he's an entrepreneur, and his name is Dandapani. And he was really inspiring. He talked about his guru, his spiritual master, who says all the time that life is meant to be lived joyously. And in my heart of hearts, I really do believe that. I feel like with the art of lifing, we can live our life joyously. But here's the thing. All too often as we've been growing up, we've been taught that life has to be difficult, that if we want to succeed, things have to be hard for some reason. And I don't know that that's always the case. It's almost something we have to unlearn. So Dandapani talked about how when his spiritual master was about to leave this earth, his disciples were all around him, almost feeling like they needed to mourn him. And he said to his disciples, I have lived the most amazing life, and I wouldn't change a thing. Now that sounds like a simple enough concept, but how many of us live our life every day with that notion in mind? So if we wake up in the morning and we're getting ready to start our day, shouldn't we be asking ourselves, what am I going to do today that is going to help me make that statement come true at the end of my life? That I have lived the most amazing life and I wouldn't change a thing. That's just something that I feel is a great daily reminder that we can be in the driver's seat of our life and we really can do life on purpose. I know for me, one of the things that has stopped me from living my life to the fullest capacity that I can is a sense of fear. And I'm sure that a lot of us go through that. Sometimes we feel like we want to do something, we want to pursue a dream, but there's a wall of fear there or a door of fear that kind of blocks our way. Well, my friend James Ton was recently telling myself and a few of fellow entrepreneurs that he tells his kids, when you see that door of fear in front of you, let me ask you a question. What's on the other side of that door of fear? And the answer is nothing. And so really, what stops us is simply that door or that wall. There's nothing to stop us from continuing to go through that door and keep going on our journey. And I felt like that was really profound. It's something that every time we can feel a sense of fear, we have to remind ourselves that no, there's nothing on the other side of it. That's just our fear stopping us in the moment, and we can actually step through that. And one of the little life hacks that someone told me once that I kind of adopted into my life anytime I feel that sense of fear is to ask myself the question, so what? So I feel like, oh, I can't do that because I might fail, something might go wrong, something might happen. But if that happens, so what? And just like, when a child asks you why and you give the answer and they say, but why, and it keeps going. That question, so what, we can ask ourselves over and over. And when we do, and we keep trying to answer that question, the answer at the end of it is nothing. There's no big deal. Life still goes on. So no matter what happens to us, if we continue through our life, we can keep going and we can still keep that control. And so those are the 3 lessons that I want to remind myself of every day that I wanted to share with you, is that number 1, life is meant to be lived joyously. So let's make sure that at the end of our life, we can feel confident saying that, yes, I've lived an amazing life and there isn't a single thing I would change about it. When we feel blocked from doing that, number 2, remember that at the opposite end of that door of fear, on the other side, is nothing. And so we can let our fear be there, and then we can step right through it and keep going. And number 3, if we're still feeling stuck from that fear, we can remind ourselves, if something happens, so what? If we keep asking that question, so what, chances are we're going to say, we survived, we can keep going, we can dust ourselves off, and we can pick up and try again. So those are 3 lessons for us to listen to and take, so that at the end of the day, yeah, we absolutely can live our life joyously. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please like it. And if you know someone who you think would like to see something like this as well, please share the video. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe to my channel. I put out new videos every week on Tuesdays.